What's up, everybody? It is Follow Up Friday, and we are going to finish out our series on God Speaks. This is part 4 of this series, and this is the last part. Not only is this the last part, that this is going to be the last video entry that I'm going to do for a while. And I'll explain more about that at the end of the video. So, with that being said, let's get into the final voice that we need to be aware of. We've talked about God's voice. That is always speaking truth. We talked about Satan's voice, or the enemy's voice, which is always speaking lies and deceit. So this week, I want to talk to you about our own voice. And so a lot of times when we are trying to discern between, is this God's voice? We have this other side that is trying to vie for our attention, meaning the enemy's voice or even our own fleshly desires or voice. And so with us, our voice is very self-focused. Me, myself, and I. That's what it focuses on. And so when we are trying to discern between, is this God's voice or is this my voice, a really easy indicator for us, or discernment tool for us, is to see, is this self-centered? Is this self-focused? And so let me give you an example. So you feel like God is asking you to go pray for someone. And before you do that and you're trying to discern what it is that you should do, if your thoughts are, well, if I go over there, what are they going to think of me? If I go over there, what if what I have to say is wrong? If I go over there, what if they make fun of me or judge me? Those are all self-focused, all right? And so what I want to show you here, when we're talking about self, I want to go to John, 1 John, so not the book of John in the Gospels, but 1 John, and I want to go over here to chapter 2, or read verse 16. It says this: "For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and a pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but are of this world." And so why do I read that? Because when you have those cravings and those pleasures that seek to serve self, that's not of the Father. That's not God's voice. And so I hope this helps. So when you're trying to discern, when you're hearing God speak, when those thoughts or those voices come in that is very self-centered and self-focused, it's not of God. It's most likely of us in our own flesh, trying to protect ourselves or trying to protect our comfort. So I hope this helps. So like I said, this is going to be my last video entry for a while. And I told you in the beginning that I would explain that. I know everybody's super busy. And I totally get that. I myself find myself busy as well. And so what I haven't been seeing is a lot of response to our weekly correspondent emails, our Follow Up Friday correspondence. I use those times for us to connect on a whole level, to make sure that everybody's feeling okay in their positions, to make sure that you don't need anything practically, to see what you're dealing with in your personal life, to pray. I also use this time as an encouragement, hopefully to help you better discern your walk with Christ. Now, by no means am I upset. However, I just want to clarify that I don't want to continue to do these videos if it's not truly benefiting anybody, because otherwise I'm just wasting your time as well as mine. And so again, I'm not upset at all. I'm just trying to evaluate things maybe that work and things that don't. And so I have not been receiving any of my email correspondence back for the past probably 3 weeks. Now, hear me out. There are some of you who have. So obviously this doesn't apply to you. But those of you who haven't, now, whether that's because your schedule's super busy or whether email's just not your thing, whatever it may be, I haven't been receiving those responses back on how's your area of ministry and so on and so forth. And so again, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, and I don't want to continue to do these things if it's not truly being beneficial to the team. So with that being said, this is going to be the last video for a while. As a matter of fact, my weekly correspondence to you may look very brief and very to the point. Because again, if I'm not going to receive response, I'm just going to assume that this isn't truly beneficial for everyone. So if that's not the case, I would love to hear your responses. But if that is the case, well, then hopefully we can find something that better serves us. And so with that being said, I love you guys. I pray that this message encourages you. I also pray that you guys are doing well, and I pray that you have a wonderful weekend celebrating Forest Festival. And so with that being said, I will see you this Sunday at church at 10 a.m. Actually, I'll see you at 9:15 for our Impact Team Rally. And so love you guys. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.